Hello and welcome to part 3 of this Graphics Elective Online CPD 2020-2021, focusing on Tinkercad as a cloud-based CAD software. In this part we are going to be looking at control, accuracy and added features in Tinkercad. The first part we're going to look at is control. So here are just some added extra control features that you may find useful in Tinkercad. Here are some models that I've been making over a period of time. If I wanted to subdivide these models or divide them up in such a way that I can easily access them over a long period of time, what I can do here is I can actually create a project. So I'm going to just create a project there. It's going to say project 1 and I'm going to rename it and so on. So now I can actually go away and I can create my different designs. So I'm going to create a 3D design here. That's the first thing. You can subdivide your models into projects. The next thing we're going to look at is actually looking at the work plane. So you can actually edit this grid. So if I go down here, I can make a size, whatever size I want. So I might drop it down to 150 by 150. And I can update that grid. I can also change the units if I wanted to inches or bricks or whatever you want to do there. And they also have the different sizes for different machines. So for example, if I had an Ultimaker 2 Plus, well then that would be the size of the build plate and the build area for that. So I'm actually just going to use that. So that's my size there now. The next thing I can do is I can actually change the snap grid. So at the moment I'm at 1. So if I want bigger steps I can go to 2. If I want smaller steps I can go to 0.01 or 0.1, and then I can also turn it off. So I'll just show you what that's going to look like. So I'm going to bring the box in here. At this stage now we've seen the numbers, so I'm going to go 50, tap 50, and I'm just going to adjust the height here. I'm going to make that 50 as well. So I'm just going to make a cube again. Then I'm going to go away and I am going to keep my snap grid there. So when I click on that and when I move it, you can see the grid moving in ones. If you wanted it, I suppose, a bit less accurate, you can move it in fives. And if you wanted to just really increase the level of accuracy that you have and control that you have in this, you can see one. So this is moving here as I'm pressing it. So that's the first adjustments you can make here. You can change the work plane and you can also change the snap grid. I'm going to move that back to 1. One final adjustment you can make is when you move your object like that, it moves all 3 axes together. I'm just going to go back by pressing Ctrl and Z, and if I press the shift button and I pick one of the corners, I can actually proportionally increase and decrease the object. So again, that gives just another element of control, that if you have an object and you want it to fit bigger within the work plane, that if you press shift and pick a corner, it'll keep the same proportions. We'll just adjust the size, either getting bigger or smaller depending on what you want. Another element of control within the Tinkercad software is this option here. So if you click a model or a shape or whatever you bring out from the space here on the right, if you click that and you drop it down here, you can actually see that you have a lot of different options. So if I want to change the length to this here, so if I go 50, that'll go to 50. So I'm going to make it a square again, or a cube. 50. So that'll give me my cube again. So I'm going to click that. And now if I want to actually do the radius of the corners, I can do that. So now I'm actually getting to a completely different shape. And again, if I want to do the steps, so that's quite a very different shape from what I started off with. So there's actually a nice bit of control and customization with these options here. And what you'll find is that different models have different customization in these options here. So that's just another element of control that can be found in Tinkercad when you're modeling with different objects.